Good evening and welcome to the Vineland Board of Education combined meeting, 5 p.m. on Wednesday, October 5th, 2022. Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta? Ms. Fabry?
Here.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Here.
Mr. Holmes?
Here.
Mr. Rivera?
Here.
Mr. Sabrana?
Present.
Mr. Silva?
Here.
Mrs. Cottaspati?
Present.
Ms. Spinelli?
Here. In compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law, commonly referred to as the Sunshine Law, the Vineland Board of Education has caused notice and posting of this meeting to be sent to the following: announcing time, place, agenda, etc. The Daily Journal, S&J Today, the Press of Atlantic City, Nuestra Comunidad, Vesto Bueno, and the Clerk's Office for the City of Vineland, and the Administrative Office Public Bulletin Board. At this time, we will have our Winslow Elementary students and the Safety Patrol report up to the stage for the flag salute. Thank you very much. Mr. Sabrana is going to join you on the stage with some certificates, and then we're going to take some pictures. Thank you to our Winslow students in the Safety Patrol program. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to make a special announcement. But again, thank you, Winslow team. I see Mrs. Speakman back there. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well done on the flag salute. In a moment, I'm going to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence. Before we go into that moment of silence, I'd like to read a statement. Chad Lewis Stuart was a graduate from Vaughan High School. He received his associate's degree from Rowan College of Cumberland County and his bachelor's in business administration from Wilmington University. Chad was an apprentice electrician and a server at Lake House Restaurant in Newfield, New Jersey. He loved the restaurant business, fine dining, health, and fitness. Chad was an avid sports fan and was a basketball coach and player at Faith Bound Basketball League through the Faith Bible Church in Vineland. He grew up in Vineland and attended Chestnut Assembly of God Church in Vineland, and where he was also active in their youth group program. We recently lost Chad in a tragic incident. We would want and ask for your support for his family and to keep the entire Stuart family in your prayers. Please join me in a few moments of silence. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on. Mr. Mustarell, do we have a resolution for executive session?
We do. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the City of Vineland Public School District will convene an executive session for the following reasons as outlined in NJSA 10:4-12. Discussion of any matter involving the proposed lease or acquisition of real property, employment matters, and any matters falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent that confidentiality is required in order for the attorney to exercise his ethical duties as a lawyer.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta, Ms. Fabry,
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi,
Yes.
Mr. Holmes,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana,
Yes.
Mr. Silva,
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti,
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli.
Yes, we're not going to go into our executive session at this time. We will do that after the HIB report this evening. Mr. Yano, do we have any special presentations?
Yes. Yes, we do. We have 3 presentations. I will go down to the podium to begin our first one, so just bear with us one moment. Why is it in my way? Good evening. For our first presentation, I would like to ask you all to join me in a special presentation from one of our local legends. Tonight, we're honoring Deb Marco, legendary local reporter who has recently ended her run with the Daily Journal. Although I didn't have the pleasure of working with Ms. Marco for very long, I can see the respect and admiration my colleagues hold for her. We are fortunate to have a journalist who was unbiased and willing to present a well-rounded picture of our district to the public, highlighting our strengths and being a voice for our community when we may have fallen short. Your contributions to the school district and the community as a whole will be sorely missed. On behalf of the entire school district, I want to thank you for your years of dedication, and we wish you the best of luck with whatever the future holds. The Board of Education, our public school system, would like to present you with an honorary plaque. Please join me in celebrating Deb Marco.
I just wanted to say the best part about being an education reporter is the time that I spent in the district schools. Meeting many teachers and students, I was often so inspired by their creativity and the compassion unfolding in their classrooms. Sorry, I'm not used to being on this side of the mic. I'd like to thank those who trusted me to tell their stories and the school board for this evening's honor. Covering the Vineland Public Schools was the highlight of my nearly 40-year decade career, and I enjoy working with all of you. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Sneeden and Mr. Rivera to please come to the podium.
Good evening. A couple of weeks ago, we had an incident happen at one of our elementary schools. And thanks to the fast-acting security guard that was on the scene, I can stand here and say, no tragedy. Crisis averted because of her training and her quick and professional attendant to that student. We are here celebrating tonight Amalia Trinidad, one of our valuable security guards. Come on up, Amalia. I hope never to need the Heimlich maneuver, but if I do, you're my girl.
Thank you.
All right, we have a certificate for you, too.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Great job. All right. Here you go. We're putting you in the middle, though.
Just come in front of the podium. You gotta get it. I'll give you a minute to get up there. For our third presentation, I will ask Mr. Fry to do the introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Yano. Over the last several months, the district has been working on the implementation of two major initiatives that will benefit our students for the foreseeable future. In 2021, the district received a substantial amount of federal funds designed to provide district money to schools to address the areas most impacted by this disruption to education caused by COVID-19. Tonight, Mr. Bello will provide an overview of the status of these two initiatives and acknowledge the dedication demonstrated by our teachers. I'll now turn the presentation over to Mr. Bello. Thank you. Yeah, they got it. They're going.
Good evening. How do I get it to forward? Sorry about that. Good evening. The process of selecting a new math and language arts program began in the spring of last year, where Nancy and I formed committees of stakeholder groups. At the middle school and high school level, we focused on mathematics, and at the elementary level, we focused on language arts. The committees participated in presentations by publishers and provided us with valuable feedback that was then used to determine the final selection of the program. Now, we have more than 30 early innovators that were selected and have begun using these new programs in September with their students. And these early innovators are representative of different classroom environments, such as general education, special education, accelerated teachers, and even specialized education services, which is formerly Camelot. In addition to the Reveal Math program that we'll be using in full district implementation next year, there's a supplemental online resource called Alex that works along with the Reveal program and also has a personalized learning path in which students can continue to work on skills and concepts that they need. The early innovators have been doing a lot of work since they were selected. They have participated in intensive implementation training. They've begun working on district curriculum. They are continuing to participate in professional development with program consultants and math and reading specialists.
We also have professional learning community meetings where they work together and also with us supervisors. And they will also be presenting during district PLC days to show their colleagues the curriculum that's being developed, training them and helping them develop lesson plans, gathering their feedback, and using that to make adjustments to the curriculum that everyone will be using in September 2023. And now the most important part of this presentation. The district would really like to celebrate the successes of our early innovators and thank them for their dedication to the Vineland Public Schools and improving the learning experiences of our students. So at this time, I'd like to call up our early innovators. If you can come up when I call your name. If you're not able to make it tonight, we will make sure that you get your certificate. I can do this order? Okay. Tracy Alexander, Amanda Armstrong, Dara Arno, Lindsay Bertonazzi, Kristen Bascaglio, Stacy Camerari, Justine Carbo, Caitlin Concanon, Roxanne Dorenzis, Jamie Eckert, Jackie Farside, Stacy Finucci, Linda Giannino Fields, Courtney Gruccio, Jessica Highland, Carrie Jordan, Barbara Kuttner, Jessica Mercado Santana, Jennifer Mercano, Jennifer Neri Masucci, Ashley Pacito, Betty Paul, Jill Perugini, Janet Lynn Polo, Dana Speziali, Natalie Stengel, Laurie Tarzantana, I apologize. Angeline Tedesco Weaver, Tiffany Velez, Christy White, Susie Teresi, Barbara DeGarmo, Donna DeLuise, Danielle Dold, Jennifer Fry, Ryan Greif, Christina Kulik, Eileen Love, Leslie Stabile, and Lori West. Thank you very much, early innovators.
Before we switch gears, just want to say thank you to Mrs. DeBello, Mrs. Hollenweger, Mr. Fry, and a special shout out to our early innovators. This is an exceptional school district where our teachers are helping to lead the way in our professional development. So I want to say thank you to all of our teachers for showing up tonight and all of our administrators for supporting the process, because we're going to have an outstanding and exceptional rollout. So thank you for the team. Thank you, Mrs. DeBello and Mrs. Hollenweger, for all the work that you've done to get this off the ground. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to move along to our HIB report this evening. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Cottaspati?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes. At this time, we will enter into executive session, and we will be back shortly. Thank you very much. down. Good evening. Moving on in the agenda. Approval of minutes. September 7th, 2022 combined meeting. September 7th, 2022 executive session. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Committee reports. Do we have any committee reports this evening?
I have
Mr. Rivera?
Good evening, everyone. On September 29th at 4:30 p.m., the Facilities Committee met. In attendance was Mr. Fiocchi, Mr. Sabrana, Mr. Yano, Mr. Mustarell, Mrs. Codispoti, Mr. Farinaccio, and myself. Mr. Farinaccio updated everyone on the Winslow Phase 2 and Dan Barcy HVAC projects and all the upcoming work. The Esser window projects, Mr. Farinaccio noted that the windows for DePalato and Rossi out at Esser 2 are finished, and Dan Barcy windows are still on order. Vineland High School North and South windows are awarded and in the process of being ordered. Melissa's Law, the technology is soon to be tested throughout the school buildings, and the system is now being finished up and should be online next month. The district-wide camera project, Mr. Farinaccio noted that the camera installation is ongoing. The project should be finishing up at the end of December. And we still have some active construction projects. Most of the HVAC projects are now wrapping up. Durand, Winslow, and Mennies are over 95% completed and are being prepared for the heating season. The Palo Alto roofing and VHA South greenhouses are now 100% completed. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Fiocchi?
Finance Committee met on September 26th via Google Meet at 8 a.m. In attendance was Mr. Yano, Mr. Mustarell, Ms. Spinelli, Mr. Rivera, and myself. The following topics were discussed: shared service with the City of Vineland for our CDL program, upcoming bids for food service equipment, and Winslow HVAC Phase 2. Next, Barcy HVAC, currently in the process of unpacking the substitute costs through ESS, preparing for the annual audit. And last was the BA and assistant BA positions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Holmes?
Transportation Committee met on September 27th. Present were Mr. Yano, Mr. Hall, Mr. Mustarell, Mr. Rivera, Ms. Fabry, Ms. Camara, Ms. Blakely, and myself. Discussed was walk zone policy, stop finder update, student registration update, driver stats, Wallace and Petway dismissal, LP buses, GovDeal bus sale, swipe card details and tablets, and shared service CDL with the city. Personnel Committee met on September 28th. Present were Ms. Spinelli, myself, Mr. Fiocchi, Mr. Sabrana, Mr. Yano, Dr. Sneeden, and Dr. Rossi. Personnel discussed VEA Level 3 grievance procedure, business administrator appointment, employee separation agreement, 2 principal clerk typist promotions, and staff vacancies.
Thank you. Public meeting report by Board Solicitor. Do we have anything, Bob?
Yes, I do. Mr. Yano notified me that the district had received a notice regarding a zoning board hearing on September 21st by 2520 Northwest Boulevard LLC for the operation of a cannabis cultivation facility. He has asked me to report to the board tonight and to the public regarding that meeting. The use of property in New Jersey is regulated by state statute and municipal ordinances. Municipalities such as the City of Vineland have adopted ordinances establishing zones within the city. Certain uses are permitted by the zoning ordinance. The zones include residential, commercial, industrial. If a proposed use is not permitted in the zone, the developer must apply to the city's zoning board for what is called a use variance. For example, if an apartment complex is proposed in a commercial zone, that developer must go before the zoning board. Here, the city of Vineland, by ordinance, has adopted and permitted cannabis cultivation facilities to be located in the industrial zones. 2520 Northwest Boulevard is located in the I-2 zone, so the developer did not need to get a use variance because cultivation facilities is a permitted use in that zone. Mr. Yano and others, including the principal of Durand School, were very concerned about this because the rear of the Durand School property abuts 2520 Northwest Boulevard. So he requested that I attend the zoning board hearing. Now, keep in mind that even though the developer did not need to get a use variance, the developer applied before the zoning board for a variance to permit them to operate the residence that was formerly on the property. So a residence is not allowed in an industrial zone, so that's the reason why the applicant was before the zoning board. All right. At the same time, the applicant was seeking what is called site plan, because any kind of development in Vineland, the city is concerned about parking, drainage, fire lanes, internal driveway movement, et cetera. So the applicant was also considered requesting site plan approval. The ordinance that permits cultivation facilities to be in the I zone does not have a distance limitation to schools. Retail sales of cannabis or dispensaries of cannabis cannot be located within 1,000 feet of any school. But the same distance requirement is not applied to manufacturing or cultivation facilities. So again, there was no way of stopping the operation because it was permitted by city ordinance. So I appeared before the board on September 21st. During my remarks, I raised the concerns of school officials and parents about the proposed use in proximity to Durand School, and our disappointment that the city ordinance didn't apply the same buffer requirement of 1,000 feet for cultivation facilities as it does for retail sales. Of course, the zoning board appreciated that, but could do nothing about it because the zoning board can't change the ordinance. I stressed three major concerns on behalf of the district and the parents, and those were security, odors, and pest rodent control. The applicant presented witnesses explaining in detail a very sophisticated security system that included an 8-foot-high fence, infrared cameras, sense detectors, one-way entrance through a one-person turnstile, connection with the police department. So there were a number of security measures proposed to be in place. Regarding odor, and that seemed to be the biggest concern of the objectors because no one believes that odors can be totally eliminated. The applicant testified that odors take place during the flowering stage of the growth process, and the odor is addressed in two different ways. Primarily, a charcoal filter system circulates the air in the building. Additionally, an ozone product is sprayed throughout the facility. Odor control requirements are imposed by the state, and any violations are to be enforced by the state. So anybody has a complaint about odor, a neighbor, what have you, there are opportunities to complain to the officials in the state. It's not enforced by local officials. Regarding pest control and rodent control, the applicant indicated that they would engage a pest control, animal control service contract. A couple of the objectors argued that the board should deny the use because it violates what is called the drug-free zone law. By state statute, controlled dangerous substances, CDS, cannot be dispensed, sold, distributed within 1,000 feet of a school. Unfortunately, the Cannabis Act trumped that. The Cannabis Act removed cannabis as a controlled dangerous substance, so the 1,000-foot requirement under the drug-free school zone law doesn't apply to cannabis now because cannabis is no longer a controlled dangerous substance. Under the cannabis law, a municipality can impose any requirements it wants to. And as I said, the city did with respect to distribution, retail sales, dispensary, but not with respect to cultivation. So a lot of the objectors there argued that the board should deny this thing, and the chairman said if the school district believed that that was a problem, that Mr. DeSanto would have brought it up, and I would have. But unfortunately, I know that it's been removed from that definition. So the board denied the variance for the residents. They didn't feel a residence in a manufacturing property was appropriate. So they denied the use variance, and they approved the site plan and imposed a number of conditions on the applicant regarding fire lane for trucks, regarding vegetation, buffers, a lot of requirements to keep that property hidden pretty much. And the applicant was directed to meet with the school district to further discuss our concerns. So I met with the attorney after the meeting. I placed a call into him this morning, and he had assured me at the meeting that he would contact me, and he and his client would meet with Mr. Yano and anyone else from the board or the district so that we can further express our concerns regarding the proximity, even though we can't do anything about stopping the operation, but we can perhaps help discuss or at least get involved in discussion on further conditions to protect our kids and our staff that are over at the school. But I just want to make it very clear about the drug-free zone because I've heard a lot of comment, not only by the objectors at the meeting, but out on the street and stuff like that. And it's truly a shame, but if it's not a CDS, then it doesn't, then the drug-free zone doesn't apply.
Thank you, Mr. DeSanto. Moving on. Public comment on agenda items. When you come up to the podium, I ask that you be respectful of the time. We do have a timer up here, and you limit yourself to 3 minutes.
McKenna Douglas, Parent and Student Support.
Good evening, all. My name is Makima Douglas. I am a Vineland native, and I heard so many great congratulatory speeches and certificates being given out tonight, and I'm so excited about what is taking place in our great city of Vineland as we get back to some kind of resilience and normalcy. And I just wanted to make a plea to parents to stay involved in what our kids are doing and what kind of support our teachers may need, and to keep an eye on the everyday heroes that we see at school. And I just really, really, really wanted you to know that I am very thankful for the work that is being done, and I'm glad to be a native of Vineland. And again, I just really wanted to encourage parent and student support throughout the school year. Everyone's got a role to play, and I want to make sure that I play mine and encourage you to play yours. So have a great school year. Thank you.
Chris Wilson, Employment Hiring Practices.
Good evening. I'm Chris Wilson. I just want to discuss a few things that a colleague of mine as well brought up last month. Fairness and equity in hiring practices within the state of New Jersey and within the municipality and city of Vineland. It was brought to my attention in August, the disparity in African Americans being hired in this school district. I believe the ratio is 86.4% Caucasian teachers versus 4.1% in the African American community. We've had some very progressive conversations with the superintendent, Dr. Sneeden, on this matter. We do want to congratulate on the efforts with the MOCA program and some other initiatives that we're hearing about, that we're really excited hearing about. But we just want to keep the onus and pressure on with this disparity. Recent data, I believe it's even up to 93%. So we want to figure out what's going on within the hiring practice. We have a litany of names, about up to 10 right now, of individuals that have interviewed here, have subsequently been hired in other districts for principals and school teachers positions, after either not getting an interview or getting an interview here and not getting past the first phase. I think a couple of them have got to the final phase and, unfortunately did not get hired. So we got to 93% or 86.4% somehow, some way. Not saying it's purposefully, not saying that it's, some secret type agenda, nothing like that. But we got to that lopsided percentage somehow. So we just want to continue to explore that, continue to put like-minded minds together to for the people that are getting to these interviews to really see why certain individuals that are born and raised, home raised from Vineland, that aren't getting employment opportunities to serve the kids of where they're from. We have one particular person that is a principal in Delsea right now that applied for positions that did not get hired. We have people that are in Bridgeton right now that applied for administration positions that are serving in those municipalities as opposed to ours. So we just want to take a look at that. And again, the collaborative efforts that Dr. Yano told us about is definitely progressive, and we're looking forward to seeing how far that goes with that particular situation. Thank you.
Anthony Rodriguez, Transportation, Walk Zone.
Dr. Sneeden, can you start the clock for me?
Good evening, board, and thank you. First, I have some documents I'd like to pass out to the board if possible. Is that? Again, my name is Anthony Rodriguez. I have 3 children that attend the district, 2 at Pilla in 7th grade, and 1 is a freshman in high school. So my argument this evening is the walk zone. My son, we're 2.5 miles away from the school, so we're right on the cusp. Google, there are only 9. If people can share, I apologize. So his walking distance is 47 minutes to school. Half of that distance is without sidewalk, so it's unsafe travel. So with that being said, 47 minutes in the last 3 days of inclement weather to say was a disadvantaged student in learning. He arrives at school, he's wet, he's cold, and now he's expected to learn. We are putting our children at a disadvantage of learning with this walk zone. I'm not only speaking for my child, I'm speaking for the others that don't have a voice today. we're better than this. I know there has to be some sort of resolution that we can come up with. I'm a reasonable thinker, and yeah, I can understand the walk zone and the policy behind it. But when a child is walking 47 minutes, half of it without a safe corridor, and yeah, we can say, oh, we see children playing in the street every day. They're playing basketball in the street, they're riding their bikes. But those are choices the parents make. The district is making this choice for our children, and it's being forced upon the parents. So we as a body need to do better for our children so that they're not at a disadvantage of learning. I thank you for your time.
Bus driver.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Luz Perez, and for the last 22 years, I've been working for Vineland as a school bus driver. I need to say that I have been disappointed as a bus driver. I feel like my voice has no been heard. I feel like I've been manipulated and working on the control, which is unacceptable, in my opinion. My premier disappointment is my pay. The truth is that I've been making the same pay as I did when I first started working here. The raise has been getting is more requirement, more work, more stress. I feel like the union is not on my side. I have addressed my concern with the representative and nothing has been changed. I feel like the harder I work, the more I give to this job, the one who gets the benefit is the administration, not the drivers. As a driver, I feel like I am part of the Vineland Board of Education. As a school, I should be included with the state, receive any grant, bonus, benefits for this department. During COVID-19, I believe this department has received a great amount of money, and $90,000, and no once did this department thought about the drivers. At the end of this, I want to say that I hope my voice have been taken into consideration and I should be appreciated a part of this department. Thank you for this opportunity.
Emily Barber.
Hello, my name is Emily Barber, and I'm a parent of a kindergarten attending Petway Elementary School. I'm here wondering why there's no aids on the buses to make sure that all children are wearing seatbelts. The second week of September, I called the school to ask if I was able to have someone assigned for the bus for my child, since he's still in the process of being evaluated to see if he has autism. He has speech delays and he can't communicate very well. I called the transportation on September 23rd at 8:40 in the morning and left a message and a phone number to call me back. I was calling regarding the bus driver when I asked her if my son was wearing a seatbelt, and she said no and shrugged her shoulders like she didn't care. So as a concerned parent, I called the Board of Transportation and expressed my concerns. I told them that I talked to the bus driver, and if there was any way that they could encourage the bus driver to encourage the children in the bus to wear their seatbelts. Then at 9:20 in the morning, that very same day, I received a call from the school saying that my child was hurt in the bus and I had to come quick. When I came into the school, I had to take my son to the emergency room. He got staples on his head. I asked how it happened to the teachers in there, and everything they said did not make sense. This all could have been prevented if there was an aid on that bus. All I'm asking, if they can put aids on the buses that carries kindergartners for their safeties, because my child's injuries could have been worse. I get it, kids are kids, and they will get hurt, but this could have been all prevented. Thank you for your time.
That's all the yellow sheets I have.
Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Motions and resolutions. Superintendent recommendations for discussion and approval by the board. Consent agenda. Any questions? Oh, sorry.
Yes, here we go.
Here we go.
So we're going to begin with personnel. Requesting discussion on personnel item 1.1, which is approval of the following as noted on our agenda, A, B, C, D, and E personnel items.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none? Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes to all, and I have to abstain on the salary adjustment for employee number 7606.
Thank you. Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Requesting discussion.
Congratulations, Mr. Mustarell. Mr. Mustarell is now our new business administrator. Would you like to get a picture with your family?
Yes, yes, please.
Which one's the artist that drew his portrait on this? You see how one of them drew his portrait, and it's out there by the gallery of us. One of his girls drew it, so you got to see it when you go by.
Congratulations, Mr. Mustarell.
Can I say a word? I appreciate the opportunity. I want to thank the board and the superintendent for the encouragement, and your faith in me. I want to thank the cabinet, Dr. Sneeden, Nate Fry, Joe Rossi, Terry Godlewski, and I'll continue to draw on your knowledge. I appreciate that. I want to thank our exceptional business office team for their continued support. Paul in the facility department, Mike in the transportation department, including clerical and the bus drivers, Keith in the purchasing department, Jimmy in the garage department, Dave in the accounting/accounts payable department, and Gene in the payroll department, Pravesh in his food service department, of course, Kara, who I couldn't do anything without. So, and lastly, but not least, is my family. First, I got to apologize to my daughter, who said not to recognize anybody except her. So I'm sorry, honey, but I had to do it. It's the right thing to do. We'll talk about it later, okay? But I love you all, and I thank you for the support and understanding in this next chapter. Thank you.
And we'll continue requesting discussion on procedure and operations items 2.1 through 2.9, 2.1 being the approval of trips and district travel. 2.2, approval authorizing the board secretary to enter into partnership with Complete Care Memorandum of Agreement for Student Health Solutions. 2.3, approval to submit the New Jersey Department of Education 21-22 HIB self-assessment. 2.4, approval of the board secretary to enter into an affiliation agreement with Kane University for the 22-23 school year at zero cost to the district. 2.5, approval of the 22-23 professional development plan. 2.6, approval of the revised district calendar. 2.7, approval of the following observation rubrics as noted on our agenda. 2.8, approval regarding the uniform memorandum of agreement between education and law enforcement. 2.9, approval of the 22-23 emergency virtual remote instruction plan as noted on our agenda.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We don't have anything for buildings and grounds, so we'll move into finance. Requesting discussion regarding finance 4.1 through 4.7.
Oh, wait, excuse me, I have to abstain for 2.2.
Noted, thank you.
Requesting discussion finance 4.1 through 4.7. 4.1, approval of the budgetary transfers for general school-based ECPA, July 22, August 22. 4.2, approval of the following: June 22 Board Secretary Treasurer reports, July 22 Board Secretary Treasurer reports, August 2022 Board Secretary and Treasurer reports. 4.3, approval of the placement of special education students as on file. 4.4, approval of the annual maintenance reserve deposit worksheet. 4.5, approval of the comprehensive maintenance plan report for the following periods as noted on our agenda. 4.6, approval of math professional development sessions for Reveal and Alex and math workshops for November 8th, 2022. 4.7, approval of the ELA professional development for Into Reading and supplemental programs.
Any questions? Any questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Just a point of clarification, the BSR Treasurer's Report for June is the final June report. There was one preliminary report that was approved back in July. Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi? Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi? Yes. Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
That was a nice move there.
You like that? That was slick, right?
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
Nicely done. I think we did a good job.
Rookie did a good job, thanks.
Requesting discussion regarding 4.8 through 4.13. 4.8, approval of the following special education professional development workshops scheduled through October of 2022. 4.9, approval of the memorandum of understanding between Rowan University and Vineland's DePalto Elementary School. 4.10, resolution approving the following changes to the bank depositories for student event accounts for Menny's School. 4.11, approval of the agreement between the City of Vineland and Catapult Learning LLC. 4.12, approval of the agreement between the City of Vineland Board of Education and Catapult Learning LLC for evaluation and determination of eligibility services. 4.13, approval regarding the list of agencies and consultants for use by the Child Study Team as part of the evaluation process.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Requesting discussion regarding finance items 4.14 to 4.18. 4.14, approval of Handle with Care Train-to-Trainer Certification Program. 4.15, approval of the amendment to Complete Care Services Agreement. 4.16, approval of the following services: Navigate 360, sole source, and Navigate 360 order form. 4.17, approval of the tuition contract between the City of Vineland Board of Education, which is the sending district, and Atlantic County Vocational School Board of Education, which is the receiving district. 4.18, approval of the tuition contract between the City of Vineland Board of Education as the sending district and Gloucester County Vocational School Board of Education as the receiving district.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes, but I abstain to 4.15.
Motion carries.
Requesting discussion regarding Finance 419 through 4.22. 4.19, approval of the McKinney-Vento tuition contract between the City of Vineland Board of Education and Hamilton Public Schools as the sending and receiving. We are the receiving district. 4.20, approval of the McKinney-Vento tuition contract between the City of Vineland Board of Education receiving and Ventnor Board of Education as the sending district. 4.21, approval of the McKinney-Vento tuition contract between the City of Vineland Board of Education receiving district and Ventnor as the sending for another student. And 4.22, approval of the McKinney-Vento tuition contract between the City of Vineland and Elk Township Board of Education, which will be the receiving district for one student.
Do I have any questions or comments? Seeing none, motion. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes. Moving on.
Motion carries.
Moving on, regular agenda items, none. Proposed items for review or adoption by board members, none. Approval of bills occurred during July 2022 and August 2022, none. Just bills, August 2022 and July, sorry. Emergent items with prior approval. Okay, for 11. Okay, approval for the bills occurred during July and August. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mrs. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Okay. Emergent items with prior approval? None. Any old business this evening? None. Any new business this evening? None. I'm used to saying none, so that's why I said none for the bills. Okay, moving on to board member remarks. Mr. Rivera.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank the Winslow Elementary Safety Patrol for leading us in the flag salute today. I'd like to express my thanks to Ms. Deb Marco for her years of coverage in Vineland and all the news that she put out there that probably most people wouldn't even know if she didn't cover it. So I'd like to thank her for that. I'd like to congratulate the early innovators, the teachers that were recognized tonight. Mr. Silva and I were observing that there weren't many men on there, but hopefully that's going to change. And we would like to see more men represented in those types of groups. I'd like to congratulate and thank Ms. Trinidad. It's good to know that we have individuals like that in our schools that watch out for our children and jump right when they need to jump in and not hesitate. I know we have plenty of those all throughout our schools, and I'm thankful for those individuals, and I'm thankful for Ms. Trinidad that she was able to be there in that moment, that she'd be able to save that child's life, and we thank her and we recognize her tonight. My condolences go out to Luz Vasquez. She's a regular here at the board meetings, and as we all noted this morning, in the beginning of this meeting, she lost her son in a tragic incident, and I'd like to express my condolences and to Luz and the family, keeping you in prayer. I was able to attend a great event at Durand School on Monday, and it was with Mr. Devin Wyman. He's a former NFL player for the Patriots. Boo. But he was able there. He brought a great message, a great motivational message to the students about not giving up, about his personal life and the things that he went through as a child, as a teenager, growing up, and the message resonated with our students at Durand School. And I would like to see more of that in our schools. I would like to see more of that type of speaker come to our schools and motivate our students, because nowadays, you know, there's a lot of influences out there that are not all positive. More so now that our children have so much access to so much garbage on the internet. And it would be great to have individuals that started from the bottom and now they're at the top and they've reached the heights of their professions. And I would love to see more of that in our schools. So, Mr. Yano, if you know we can get that, we can make that happen, that'd be great. And I'm thankful for the beginning of the school year, that we're about a month in, and I'm thankful for, we've had some bumps here and there, but overall we've had a great opening first month, and I look forward to the rest of the year, and I know we're going to do even better. So have a great night, and thank you.
Mr. Sobrana.
Thank you. Thank you to our flag saluters, also to our innovators. A healthy and fulfilling retirement to Ms. Marco for her many years of positive reporting about the school district. Also, it's wonderful to see our security guard being honored for a life-saving maneuver, and as Mr. Rivera said, to be willing to jump in there and to do something to save a life. I want to wish best wishes to our retirees, especially Mrs. Jennifer Federico, the principal of Petway. She was so helpful and supportive of me when I was working as communications director. And also to Ms. Marie Donato, a Johnstone science teacher for 35 years. That's a long time. I'm sorry that I was not able to attend the festivities for honoring Lou Picone, a football player in the NFL and also a star at Vineland. He was only a few years ahead of me, and he was a class guy. Mr. Mustarell, as a lifelong Vineland resident, and someone who's been hanging around here for a real long time, I'm just proud and honored that I was here long enough to help approve your appointment as business administrator. You served with distinction in this district for a while already. Diligence, honesty, and with a low-key kind of approach that I appreciate when so many people are running around like this. I want to congratulate you and wish you success in the years ahead. Certainly they're going to be challenging ones. Finances have always been a huge challenge for the school district because of the unusual way that funding is applied and has never been able to be rectified. And I know that you will help guide us in the years ahead with the best intentions and with hopefully the best results. Thank you.
Mr. Silva.
Yes, I'd like to echo what my other colleagues have said. The Winslow students for the flag salute, Ms. Trinidad for stepping in when you were needed the most. To the Vasquez Stuart family, my sincere condolences to their family. Deb Marco, I used to be a paper boy, so we go way back. But congratulations on your retirement. Our early innovators, I am looking forward to seeing the program come to fruition, and also to Mr. Mustarell, congratulations, and it's well deserved. Thank you. Also, Isaiah Pacheco, I know you guys have seen him. He is running the ball like nobody else, and I'm just proud of him, just proud of him being from Vineland and doing what he does best, even though he would look better in silver and black. I am really appreciative, and I love watching him run that ball on Sundays. Thank you.
Mr. Fiocchi.
I'd like to congratulate all of the educators involved in the Early Innovators Math and Language Arts program. I'd also like to congratulate Mr. Mustarell. We are extremely lucky to have you as the VA for our district, and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes, qualified BAs are very, very hard to find, and we couldn't find one, so we got Scott. Just kidding. He does an outstanding job. Any question that you have, he knows it right off the bat, and I'm glad that that department's going to have the continuity that it needs to push us forward. Mr. Wilson spoke about hiring practices, bringing diversity in the school district. We've made great strides, but we still have work to do, so we're going to be about that work and continue the discussion in our policy and personnel meetings. Thank you to Deb Marco for your dedication to coverage. Bus drivers, we hear you and we thank you for doing the work every single day, and hopefully we can reach settlement very soon. Thank you.
Ms. Fabry.
I want to say congratulations and thank you to our early innovators, educators. I'm excited to see that program. I want to thank all the public speakers for coming out tonight. We need to hear you, so please keep coming. And congratulations, Mr. Mustarell. Thank you.
Ms. Cataspati.
I just want to thank Ms. Marco. She's been a part of the district for such a long time and has done so much for our district. We're going to be at a loss for her reporting on us. She's always fair and always found a way to do something for our students. So we wish you all the luck and congratulations on your retirement. To my friend Luz Vasquez and the Stuart family, my condolences go out to you and my prayers. To the flag saluters from Winslow, I'd love to see our kids come out, and of course they were great, so thank you for coming, keep coming and bringing them on. Miss Trinidad, I don't even think thank you is enough, but thank you for being there and thank you for knowing exactly what to do and not freezing for these students, so thank you. To the early innovators, what can I say? You went above and beyond, and this program looks like it's good and it's going to keep progressing. I did get to attend the Lupacone event, and it was an awesome event that our city and our district kind of worked together on. Mr. Mustarell, congratulations. You know how I feel, and I'm so excited because you've proven yourself over and over again. To our speakers, Ms. Douglas, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Rodriguez, Ms. Perez, and Ms. Barber, we did hear everything that you said. We cannot always comment from here, but we do write it down and we do follow up on things. So if you don't feel like your issue's being followed up on, please reach out and get back to us. To our students and our staff, I know we have a long weekend coming up. Congratulations and have a good weekend, but be safe. Thank you and God bless you all.
Mr. Yano.
Thank you. Just a few announcements. I want to say thank you to everyone who put together our wonderful back to school and our back to school night events. Great success. Each of our school buildings, our school leaders and their staff welcomed families and students in, engaging in exciting times. Very well done. The VHS Marching Clan is having a great season so far. They've been entertaining our crowds at the football games, and they also recently placed first in the annual Wildwood Firemen's Parade. Our elementary schools honored grandparents last month and had a fantastic time eating breakfast, reading, and other fun activities at many of our schools. Vaughan High School held its annual club night on September 22nd. Huge turnout, dozens of clubs, community and athletics representatives were on hand to help get our students involved in these extracurricular activities. We also had a wonderful ceremony that the city and the school district worked on for Lupacone with a unveiling ceremony right on West and Montrose. We heard the wise wisdom of Lou Picone and his perseverance and the strength that he displayed to continue to succeed in becoming a professional football player. Also last Monday evening was the first bilingual advisory committee meeting. Huge turnout as well. We are excited that this committee is working with our non-English speaking families to provide them with resources that they need to become more informed and involved in our district and community. Important Note, so everyone please mark Tuesday, October 25th, the 7th Annual Family Fun Night, which is co-hosted by the Vineland Police Department and our school district, will be held here at Catone Stadium between 6 and 9 p.m. This is always a fun, exciting event. We look forward to seeing everyone at the event in a costume. Can't wait to see what Mr. Mustarella will be wearing in his debut Family Fun Night. Again, this is Hispanic Heritage Month. All of our school buildings are doing amazing events. As an example, at Barcy in the 4th grade, students are learning about the Mexican tradition of Dia de los Muertos. At the Lago, they're hosting a Positively preschool event tomorrow. On the 6th, where all students will receive a book in English and in Spanish. At the Palato, there's a read-in on the 6th. Students will be participating in a reading with many guest readers. At Durand, they're working on the work of Diego Rivera and coming up with a collaborative project and recreating one of his murals. At Petway, there is music being celebrated and art featuring the work of Pablo Picasso and working on an abstract rooster painting. At Rossi, every teacher is integrating profiles of courage of notable Hispanic individuals into their lessons, including Selena Quintanilla, Roberto Clemente, and Pura Belpre. And this Friday, many of their classroom teams are collaborating to further celebrate the dynamic and diverse legacy of Hispanic Americans. At Sabater, the art classes are working on a project featuring Jaime Dominguez and Pablo Picasso. They're also posting Hispanic influencers on their Facebook page. At Winslow, students in art, music, phys ed, library, and Spanish have learned about the accomplishments of notable individuals, and they're also working on art projects inspired by Pablo Picasso. At Johnstone, students are listening and dancing every morning to the music of Hispanic musicians. Their halls are adorned with the spotlight on famous Hispanic scientists. There's also a Latino Legends periodic table. At Memorial, there is a fiesta merging music, food, and art. There are representatives of the 21 Hispanic heritage countries, and there's a luncheon schedule for the staff and the students to celebrate. At Wallace, they have a notable Hispanic American program and information hanging in the vestibule in English and in Spanish, and they have multiple displays on their TVs, sharing notable accomplishments in English and in Spanish. At Vineland High School, there's an amazing papel picado, display in the B and C wing of the South Building. You have to see it to believe it. It'll also be featured in one of our newsletters. There's also an event on October 11th where the students will get to play some music, listen to some music. Mrs. De Jesus, one of our teachers, will read her book that she has published and poetry by students in their heritage Spanish language courses. And that's just a little bit of what we're doing to honor our diversity in Vineland Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yano. Congratulations to everyone who came out this evening. Like Ms. Fabry said, we love when our speakers come out and address some of the issues that you're seeing in our district, so keep coming. My condolences also go out to the Luz family, to Luz and her family, and congratulations again to our new business administrator, Scott Mustarell. And at this time, I would like to call our meeting adjourned.
So moved.
All in favor?